everyone, I'm Kira Island Socialist on Instagram and my blog is islandsocialist.com. Today is reveal day for hashtag Frugal Frocks 2021. Want to see what I made? Stay tuned. I'm sure by now you have heard of Frugal Frocks 2021. Today is reveal day. I posted my video on March 20th, I believe. That was my plans video where I was going through my options, and y'all, on that video, the comments, there was a clear pick from you guys. So the majority of people chose the Betty dress by Kama Sutra Socialite Patterns, and the fabric I had chosen for that one, you guys loved that fabric match as well. So of course I had to go with the majority. This is what you guys wanted to see, and I hope I did not disappoint. In today's video, I'll be sharing all about my make. Also, huge shout out to Ruan from the Yorkshire Soul Girl and Sam from Frugalissima. This challenge has blown up. I mean, sometime last night before I went to bed, the Aussies were already at it, posting their makes, and then this morning when I woke up, the Brits were at it. Like, Instagram today is just all Frugal Frocks. I can't wait to scroll to the hashtag because I know I'm gonna discover so many new people and so many new free patterns. So congrats on a successful challenge, you guys, and once again, thank you so much for including us vloggers. So now enough rambling. I know you guys are all excited to see what I made and to hear all about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because this is what I do here on my channel. I keep it 100, I keep it real, I keep it totally genuine. You guys are gonna hear all about my mistakes as well. Don't get me wrong, I have a fabulous dress at the end, but I had a few mishaps. Let's just say I had to recut some things. So the fabric I chose for my dress is a cotton sateen fabric, and this was a gift from my mom. The definition of frugal, right? Here's an up close in case you didn't see it the last time. Really, really pretty. It looks like if it came from the Ankara section, so I'm rolling with that. It has a ton of colors in it. It's a very multicolored fabric. There's like every color of the rainbow in this fabric. Really, really pretty fabric. The only thing is that it doesn't translate well on camera. So from far away, you obviously can't tell the colors and the design too well. But up close, it is really, really beautiful. Now, I've had this in my stash for at least 2 years. At least 2 years this has been in my stash, just sitting because I didn't want to ruin it, and I did have a teary-eyed moment thinking that I did ruin it while I was making this dress, but I was able to save it because my mom gave me 3 yards of this. Now, I specifically chose stretch cotton sateen for this project because I am struggling lately with fitting woven garments, and woven fabrics with a little bit of stretch seem to be helping me out a little bit. It's a little bit more forgiving than just a straight up non-stretch woven. So let's talk about the pattern. Now, I don't know if Regan is going to be posting on her blog anymore since she joined Instagram with her sister. The new Instagram is So She Made, but it used to be Kama Sutra, and this pattern fell under the Socialite Patterns line. Now, on that blog, she has a good amount of free patterns that you could choose from. Most of them are vintage inspired because that is her style. So this one is as well, and this one is actually based on Archie comics. So this is the Betty dress. It's a free pattern that comes in sizes small to 3X. It has a v-neck at the front, and at the back there is an invisible zipper at the back as well. There are horizontal bust darts as well as waist darts, and the skirt has waist darts as well. There are also waist darts on the back. It's meant to be a fitted pencil skirt with a slit at the back. I think it's actually supposed to hit a little bit past your knee. And then the main feature is, of course, the little tie bows on the shoulder. If the beach hat doesn't give it away, I made a little beach dress version for mine, kind of like a lunch date for a restaurant by the sea kind of vibe. I've been just laughing at myself lately because my last couple makes, I seem to be building a holiday wardrobe, and I ain't know where I going. Positive vibes only. I'm building my vacation wardrobe, okay? So I tried my best as much as possible to at least have the vertical lines going the same. So I didn't bother to actually match the design at the waist seam, but I made sure that it is symmetrical all the way around the dress. So in the close-up clips, you'll better be able to see the pattern matching. I have it matched going on the side seams as well. Not the pattern, but just the lines, if that makes any sense. So horizontally and vertically, the lines are symmetrical. Now the main difference with this dress, apart from the fact that I chopped it into a mini length, and oh my goodness, that is where I went so wrong. But anyway, what I did was I drafted an all-in-one facing because the dress is actually supposed to be lined, but I didn't want my dress to be lined because this fabric is pretty thick already. This was my first time drafting an all-in-one facing. Aced it on the first go. Yes! Thank you, Google. So this is what my back facing piece looks like, and this is what my front facing piece looks like. I just Googled to see how the all-in-one facing is supposed to be shaped. The majority I saw had this curve so that it curves above the boob instead of pulling on the boob. Does that make any sense? So I kind of just freehanded this. I do have some pictures of the process of installing the all-in-one facings. I am gonna have a full write-up of that part over on my blog, ironSocialist.com. So feel free to go and check that out. This method could be used for any gamut really. I am so proud of my first all-in-one facing, and that made a huge difference in terms of the thickness and bulk of this dress. So really happy I chose to go that route. Also, I did not use interfacing, and the reason for that is I do not have any stretch interfacing, and I really wanted to maintain the stretch of the cotton sateen. So I just used self fabric for the facing, and I did not use any interfacing. Now that may have come back to bite me in the butt. One side of the neckline stretched just a teeny bit when I was attaching them, and you could kind of see the difference where one, I think it's the right side, it just gapes the slightest. Not anything to worry about, but I just thought I would mention that I think you should use interfacing. Now on to sizing. So I made a mock-up of a size extra large because that is where the size chart put me for the bodice. Now the bodice comes in a separate file to the skirt. So you have two files, and then the sizes are separated into two bands. So the first one I believe is small to large, and then the next one is from extra large to 3X. I decided I was going to make a mock-up of just the bodice to start. So I printed the file that was extra large to 3X, and I went with the extra large, made a mock-up of the bodice, and I just used the plain stretch cotton for that. Way too big. Like when I tell you way too big, I could like grip the entire back in the palm of my hand. So way too big. So then I decided I had to go down to the large. Something just told me, go ahead and make another mock-up just in case. So I made a mock-up of the large, and it's really funny because this time it was a little bit too small. So the extra large is a little bit too big and the large is a little bit too small. Classic Kira moment in between sizes. Here are the changes I made to get this bodice to fit me the way I wanted it to. Shorten the bodice by 1 inch. I did a 1/2 inch sway back adjustment. I did a petite adjustment, removing 3/8 of an inch between the shoulder and the bust on the front. And then on the back, I removed the 3/8 of an inch, but graded into nothing at the armhole. Because with the back, the armhole was fitting fine. It was just the back V was gaping a little bit, and I could pinch out that 3/8 of an inch. But in the front, both the armhole and the neckline were gaping. So I took the 3/8 inch out straight across. The other thing, and this is something I'm noticing with a lot of sleeveless patterns, I don't know if my arms just make up funny, but I find armholes are always too big on me. And guys, I have chunky arms. Like I have chunky biceps, but I don't know if like my arm itself going around the armpits area is small. But I find a lot of sleeveless armholes are too big on me, and I end up with side boob action. Not cute. So I raised my armhole by 1/2 inch and then just kind of tapered it coming up into the arm side on both the back and the front, and it fits much better. Really happy I did that actually. Now remember I said that the large bodice was just a little bit too small. There are 5/8 inch seams. I had to take a smaller seam allowance. I went somewhere in between 1/4 inch and 3/8 of an inch, and that was the perfect with seam allowance that I needed to use to get this bodice to fit me the way I wanted it to. So then I decided, well, I would just print the large skirt and do some measurements, see how much I need to add, if I need to add any, and just do some manual grading because I didn't want to have to print the second file to do the grading. So now here's where I ran into a little bit of trouble. So I went ahead and printed the large, measured, realized, all right, this is way too small. Did some manual grading out, just kind of eyeballing it, and also chopped the skirt into a mini skirt. I don't know how I mismeasured, but when I cut the skirt, it was way too small. There was no way that I was gonna zip up, and also it was way too short. Like when I tell y'all too short, slightly explicit. Luckily I had enough fabric to recut, so this time I ended up printing the second file, the extra large 2X and 3X file, laying my adjusted large piece on top of that, and then I realized I had only graded out to the extra large, but from the size chart I actually needed the 2XL for the hip area. Story of my life. I have something like a 13-inch difference between my waist and hips. Crazy. So that was expected and I should have known better. So this time I pretty much graded out to the 2XL hip and then came all the way down in the 2XL. The only thing that was the large on the scale was the waist. And I made sure to add back a couple of inches. This is why eyeballing is not good, people. Do as I say and not as I do. I added on a couple of inches to make sure I wasn't strolling along the beach with my booty out. And it fits perfectly now. So I guess that is the one con I have, is that I had to print both files in order to merge the size in. But hey, it's a free pattern, like I ain't complaining. Another thing to be mindful of is that this pattern does not have any illustrations, it's just words. I didn't even really read the words. I kind of just winged it and did my own thing. The only thing I really read the instructions for was the ties, just to make sure it wasn't as simple as just slapping it on, and it wasn't. You do have a little tuck in the tie just to give it a little bit more volume so that I would kind of flap out, and it does do that, but like I said, on my fabric you can't really see it. So what I'm going to do now is show you guys some up close clips of the dress, both on the right side and the wrong side. That way you could see all the details, because this fabric is really hard to read from far away. And then of course I will insert photos from my beach shoot. That is it for today's video. I tried to keep it short and sweet because I know you're going to be bombarded today with Frugal Frocks videos, and I want you to be able to catch all of them, so I don't want to keep you too long. So thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. And also, if you're not subscribed, I would love if you join the Island Socialist tribe. So make sure to hit the subscribe button on your way out. Also click the notification bell to be notified every time I post a new video. Also let me know if you took part in Frugal Frocks down below in the comments so I could go and check out your make. That is it for me today. I am out and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.